This is Conversations with Paycheck and Red, a weekly podcast with two good old boys talking about anything and everything that crosses their mind. You may not know what you're going to get with an episode of Paycheck and Red, but you sure know you don't want to miss it. So do what you got to do. Download the app, find the episodes online, and make sure that you don't miss 1 second of Conversations with Paycheck and Red.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Episode 13. You're listening to Johnny Paycheck, and as always, I'm here with my boy Red, because otherwise it wouldn't be called Paycheck and Red. So tell them what's up, Wayne.
What up, party people?
Party people. What's happening? How was your day, bro?
Good.
Good. You work today?
Yeah, I work today. I work hard today.
Anything fun and exciting happen?
Not really.
Fucking boring, dude. You couldn't have made something up?
No, not on the fly. I'm not usually just a liar, so I just can't come off with shit off the top of my head like that.
Yeah, but did you not daydream when you was a kid? Did you not write stories when you were a kid?
Dude, I went to Mars today. I went to fucking Mars today in a cardboard box spaceship. Can you believe that shit? It happened.
All right, well, let's move on. Red and I have been discussing this topic, what we're going to be talking about, for quite some time now. Red, you want to fill them in real quick? What are we talking about?
Yeah, today's topic is racism.
Racism. That's it. We're going there. We're taking it there. We're diving right in. We're jumping in with 2 feet. I mean, all the other things that you can think of, we're doing all that, to all that. You know what I mean?
Yes, we are. We might cross some boundaries, but we are coming back.
Yep, we're crossing stuff. We're jumping over stuff. We're pushing things. Because that's what we do here at Paycheck and Red. You know what I mean? We push things and we jump over stuff. We
talk about it so you don't have to.
So here it is. Racism is going down. This is a big and serious issue. It's not to be taken lightly. So real quick, before we get started, on behalf of Red and myself, I just want to make sure everybody understands that this is a comedy podcast. Red is my best friend. So we cut up, we laugh, we joke, we say things we shouldn't, we joke about things we shouldn't. So if you just so happen to hear something that's a little insensitive to somebody, forgive us. We're not trying to offend anybody. We're just trying to have a good time, unfiltered, and talking to my boy. So we're going to keep it light. We're not going to get too serious into it. We don't want to offend people. But the reality is that it's real. It happens. I'm a Caucasian, and I've experienced racism. You know what I mean? So it's definitely something that needs to be talked about. It needs to be addressed. And unfortunately, when it comes to racism, in order to create change, you have to have civil individuals that come together and they talk about it. They find the problem, they talk about it, they discuss the solution, and then they implement it. But when you're dealing with dumb motherfuckers, it's kind of hard to have good, heartfelt, loving, caring, genuine conversations.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, definitely.
Have you seen racism firsthand?
No, man, I've seen it up close and in my face.
Well, like let's not go into detail quite yet, about our personal stuff, but just answer this question for me if you would. Have you seen someone on both the initiating and receiving end of racism, or is this just,
I've seen it both ways, buddy. I've seen it both ways.
All right, let's give us a brief story.
Well, growing up in South Carolina, I lived in the rural part of South Carolina on the coast.
All right, unfortunately, that's all we have time for right there. Let's move on.
All right. Once upon a time in a land far, far away. No,
I'm
dude.
sorry. South Carolina, you said?
Yeah, South Carolina. It's not really the city, but it wasn't really the country. It was like the suburbs. I lived about 30 miles inland, but anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Was the place that you lived, was it brought there or was it built there?
It was built there.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I know where you at. I know where you're at. I get it.
Yeah. So anyway, elementary school, didn't really know what it was, didn't really see it, didn't really pay attention to it if it was there. Middle school got a little rough around the edges. The middle school that I went to was a mixture of all kinds of colors, but it was predominantly black. But I seen white people pick on black people. I seen black people pick on white people, Mexicans, Chinese people. I mean, it was all in your face. It was a pretty good mixture of races in the school. I'll give it that. But I'm talking, kids walking by, knocking over lunch trays, and hanging derogatory things on their lockers and all that kind of stuff. So I've seen it firsthand for sure.
Okay, but you mentioned the words picked on and stuff like that. Now, just make sure we're all on the same page. We're talking about racism. Like,
but I'm using the word picked on lightly here. I'm talking about picked on because they're white, picked on because they're Chinese, picked on them because they're Hispanic, picked on them because they're black. I mean, it's a whole mixture of things. But I'm just saying picked on is that's. I'm saying derogatory things on their lockers, hanging derogatory notes on their lockers, as in calling them racial slurs. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Just I don't really want to get into detail about it because I don't want to offend anybody. But this middle school that I came, one of the most eye-opening experiences as far as racism goes that I've ever had in my entire life. And it bled over into my high school because the kids that went to this high school middle school also went to this high school that I went to as well. So it kind of bled over, and it got worse as we got older. Started actually fighting people about it. Jumping people in the parking lots at school and all this kind of stuff because of the color of their skin. I mean, where I grew up in the suburbs of the county that I lived in, the white people were on one side of the street, and there was a main highway, or one end of the street, and there was a main highway, and then the other end of the street was black people. So the street was separated. And when you're separated, in your neighborhood, and whites stay on one side, blacks stay on the other, when it goes to school, that's when everything happens, because you don't really mingle street to street. You know what I'm saying? So it got worse as I got older. People were getting jumped. People were getting, their houses vandalized because of the color of their skin. I mean, yeah, man. I mean, and being from the South, it was a little bit worse than it would be everywhere else, I would think, just because of the history of the South and all that kind of stuff. But it was a mind-opening experience. Like it really opened my eyes to know what exactly racism was and the definition of it, because I've seen it up close and personal just about every day.
My experience is it's a lot different than most people's. I mean, I can relate to everything that you just said, schools and stuff like that. But for me, I was born in South Georgia, but then my dad was in the Army, so we traveled the world. So I spent a lot of my adolescent years in Europe. We lived on American bases. There were white people, black people, Mexican people. I have friends, from Thailand. I mean, everywhere. I mean, this is the military, and we're in Germany. So I really didn't grow up, with the racism. We all played sports together. We all not in my little circle of life. I mean, there wasn't racism. Right. I hung out with. Now we're talking about adolescents, so we didn't really hang out with. We played with, at that age. You know what I mean?
Right.
So when I was a little kid, I played with everybody. If you lived on the American base, It didn't matter what color you were. So I go from being born in South Georgia and then traveling the world. And I didn't spend all my adolescence. I did a few years, in Maryland, here in the States. But
you were an Army brat. You moved around a lot.
Yeah, moved around a lot.
Yeah.
So when my dad retired, he retired out of North Carolina, Fort Bragg. So he didn't realize this, I guess, but when we moved there from Germany, it was full of kids my age, and this was around junior high. So here's how racism and race played a part in the beginning of my life. Just real quick, my neighborhood was mixed. It was diverse. It wasn't quote unquote the hood when I first moved there. Everybody was in junior high. We played sports together. You know what I mean? We went to junior high dances together. And then all of a sudden, we grew up, and now everybody's drug dealers and gangbangers, and you know what I mean? So your best friend that you used to go to school, that you used to play sideline bust and basketball out there in the cul-de-sac, you know what I mean, on the concrete or whatever. Now all of a sudden they're trying to kill you. So, and he happens to be black, I happen to be white. So racism wasn't an issue when we were kids, when we were in junior high. All of a sudden, the neighborhood that we moved into from Germany became the hood. All the white kids that were in there, they were your typical white, listen to rap music, the baggy pants or whatever. You know what I mean? It's all style choice. It don't have anything to do with racism. I don't want to go there, but it's because in my neighborhood I have experienced racism because of the color of my skin. So that's one of the things that always jumps out to me when I talk to other people about racism, is that people always talk about the black community. And yes, for the most part, it was brutal. We all know what happened. I was going somewhere with that. Where was I going?
Too many safety meetings, Paycheck.
Yeah, I experienced it. You know what I mean? It's so it's not just a black thing. It's not a white thing. It's not an Asian thing. Racism is disliking a person because of the color of their skin. So,
now, I know we're seem to be angling this towards white and black, black and white, white and black, black and white, but racism's everywhere. It doesn't matter what color you are. It exists in the whole entire world. So when we speak on this is personal experience, and I don't want to pinpoint any one color, because racism happens, like I said, between all races. But our experiences as Southern men and boys, growing up in the South, that's what it was black and white, white and black, But in the schools that I went to, it was mostly black and white, white and black. But, there was a few Hispanic kids that went to school, and there was a few Asian exchange students and all that went to school, and they called it just like we did. It didn't matter what color you were, and the white people were picking on the Hispanics and the Asian people, and the blacks were picking on the Hispanics and the Asian people, and it was just a mixture of all kinds of racism. But our conversation seems to be going towards white and black, and that's predominantly what you hear in the news, what you see on TV, in movies, and all that kind of stuff. So
yeah, but that's not the direction that we're going in.
Dude, it seems that way. It seems that way.
Dude, I just said, right before you said that, I just said that racism is disliking someone based just on the color of their skin.
Right, and I was reiterating the fact that our stories so far have been geared towards white and black, black and white racism.
No, what are you talking about? I don't think I even said anything.
There we go. Are we even doing the same podcast together anymore?
Did I even say anything? I hadn't even got started into my little stories yet.
Oh man, here we go. We need to get on the not the same page, but I'm talking about one thing, you're talking about something else in the same chapter. Let's put it that way.
My mustache is growing in a lot faster this time, and thicker.
What?
No, okay, never mind.
What the hell just happened? No, really, dude. I mean, seriously. Growing up in the South, that's most of what we experience. Yes or no? There's no point in beating around the bush about it. We're talking about racism here. So, I grew up in the South. Our experiences, for the most part, have been a white and black and white racism. It doesn't bleed over very much.
No, that's not true at all.
That's true for me. I mean, I might be just speaking for myself, but I'm just saying, in the South, that's predominantly what it is.
Yeah, but remember, I spent most of my adolescent life in Europe.
Yeah, we've already covered that.
I know, but it seems like you're not listening. I don't know what's going on. Are you preoccupied? Are you in the
middle? No, I'm literally engaged in the conversation. We had the same problem last time. I'm totally engaged in the conversation.
Well, everything that you're saying right now leads me to believe that you are not.
Well, I am, sir. I'm just merely saying, it's not anything that you're talking about or that I'm talking about specifically. I'm just saying our stories so far have been geared towards more of the black and white aspect of racism and not Hispanics and Asians and Indians and all that.
Okay, wait. And what you mean by that is that because your personal experience and my personal experience stems from the South. Right.
That's all I'm saying. And you're trying to make it some big elaborate story chain.
No. Well, it's yeah, you're right.
Right. So, carry on. Your story, growing up in Fayetteville, North Carolina.
Yeah. That was it. It was the nice little friendly neighborhood with all the kids riding their bikes and out playing and having a good time. This is before video games and stuff. I mean, there was video games, but it's not like it is now.
What time period are we talking about here? What point in your life was all this taking place?
I was 14 maybe when I moved there. I think I was 14 when I moved to North Carolina. So that's right at that influential age too.
That's where I was going with that. That's where I was going with. My next question was, when was it in your life at that point in time, 14, 15, whatever it was, did you first hear or first see or first experience racism firsthand? Like, same question you asked me.
Well, I can only be, I'm a fully transparent kind of guy. So when in the neighborhood, we used to smoke blunts. So people had weed on them. You know what I mean?
Right.
And as we got older, people would have those same friends. They would have crack in their pocket. And they'd serve people. They made the neighborhood hot. It was all crazy. That's what you did when you were young and dumb. But I did notice that in the beginning, like before I, real quick, I got to make sure people know this. Look, I had to adapt to my environment because I moved every 5 years. So when I first
don't sugarcoat it, brother. We're talking about it here. Don't sugarcoat it.
When I first moved to Fayetteville, I was that dorky white kid. I didn't know what time it was. You know what I mean? I wasn't hip to the game. I had just come from Germany. I ain't know nothing about the streets. You know what I mean? So the first part of it, I was that dorky white boy. You know what I mean? And police would come into the neighborhood. They'd come in hot too. Lights off, all the lights off, like they were trying to creep on us. 2 of them side by side on a residential road, bro. It was crazy. Yeah. And they'd swarm in, and I was the dorky white kid at the time, so ain't nobody say nothing to me. Nobody patted me down. Nobody searched me, but all my homeboys got patted down and searched. That was the first time that I remember seeing that I was being treated differently because of the color of my skin, as were my friends.
Right.
I've been pulled out. One of my homeboys had an Oldsmobile, one of those long sedans, them old ones. I think it was a 70-something. And had hydraulics on it.
Right.
So we'd ride around, hit 3-wheel motion everywhere, and it was so old that the shoulder seat belt hadn't even been invented yet. All it was the lap belt. So they would pull us over all the time because you see all these people riding by in this big car, and nobody's got seatbelts on, so we get pulled every time. And most of the time, you know, they just messed with my homeboys and really didn't say anything to me except for what's my name, you know what I mean, and where do I live.
Right.
But then when I got older and I started adapting to my environment, because, you know, I'm a survivor.
Uh-huh.
Then they started slamming me on the damn car with them, you know what I mean, and started. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I went from, hey, what's up, guys? You know, I went from that to, hey, yo, my man. My man, hey, yo. You know what I mean? So, and I know that sounds dumb to bring up, but my point is that, yes, there is racism when it comes to cops and, you know, in our African American or black communities, you know what I mean? But I've witnessed firsthand, I've been in that black community, and I've been thrown down on the vehicle. So that, you know, it's a culture thing. It's an environment thing.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I mean, you see what I'm saying? So
right.
if an officer goes out to the woods, there's a complaint out there, old Jethro. Okay, they know that they're gonna have to deal with some guy with a damn shotgun, probably got a wife beater on. You know what I mean? Got him a damn.
As hell.
Right? But you see what I'm saying? What my point is that if you go out to the woods, the cops are going to deal with, they're going to know how to deal with this same individual because they go out there on a regular basis. They know Jethro's got him a damn shotgun out there. They know that they, you know, so when they go to the projects, it's the same thing. They know, you know, well, I don't want to get too far into it. You know, I'm trying to tread lightly here. You know what I mean? Try not to.
That's not what we do. We don't tread lightly at conversations with Paycheck and Red. We are real here at Paycheck. You need to.
Right. But just like you and I. But you mentioned it when you and I were talking privately about racism. Is there is a story to tell. There's millions of stories to tell. That's racism.
Absolutely. Yes.
You and I, you know, our opinions or whatever, it's not even a speck. You see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. I mean, dude, I grew up in, like I say, the black and white mixture. And I didn't live in a hood or anything like that, like you were talking about. But I mean,
hey, don't be disrespectful to my hood, homie.
I didn't even disrespect anybody. I'm just saying I didn't grow up in one. You know, when I was little, I lived in a very low-budget apartment complex. And
did Floyd live in there?
No, Floyd did not live in the low-budget apartment complex. But I played, you know, I heard one time that, you know, it's obvious, but it's a real important statement that racism is taught. You're not born to be racist. You know what I mean? So everything that happens in your life, and you know, your mother and father have a great impact on that. So everything that happens to you from the time you're born to the time you take your last breath, you're taught these things, life experiences, ways to think, you know, certain types of food to eat, what we see on TV. It all affects everything. So you're not taught racism. I played with all kinds of colored people. And when I say colored people, I mean, you know, black people. I mean, Asian people. I mean, Hispanic people. I mean, everybody. I don't like the term colored people, because when you think about it, when you punch a white dude, his eye turns blue. When you smack a white dude, his face turns red. When he blushes, when he's embarrassed, he turns a weird color shade of pink. So colored, I don't like that. That's not an appropriate term, I don't think. You know, there's a lot of ways to go about being, you know, a racist or whatever you want to call it. But as I grew up, I experienced racism, and I was taught that not liking somebody by the color of their skin was acceptable. It was the cool thing to do. It was the right thing to do, or whatever you want to call it. But, you know, I was jumped when I was 14 years old by 5 or 6 black dudes that I grew up with.
Wait a minute. Why was it because you were still wearing what do they call it? Ducks? Was it Ducks?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Ducks Unlimited or something like that?
Dude, I never dress like that. Anyway.
Oshkosh bagosh?
Nope, never dress like that either. Anyway, I remember me telling you about the white end of the street, the black end of the street, and the main highway that divided the two, right? Okay, me and my friends were playing in the woods behind my house. And I got jumped because we ventured over to the other side of the street because we were playing. And it just, our game that we were playing or whatever we were doing carried over into the other side of the woods. And we were playing war or whatever it was, or squirrel hunting or whatever it was, 14, 15 years old. And because we were on the wrong side of the street. And I think, now that I think about it, we're actually talking about it and getting in depth, I think this is where the actual seed was planted, you know, to not like that dude over there because he's not the same color as I am, you know. But I got jumped because I got chased all the way back to the other side of the street because they wanted to kick my ass and my friend's ass. And they caught us and they jumped us and beat us unmercifully for 10 or 15 minutes, you know, all because we were on the wrong side of the street.
Is it because you were on the wrong side of the street, or is it because you were white?
Both. We weren't supposed to be over there because it wasn't our side of the street because we were white.
All right. Well, you know, you know me. I like to take notes. I like to do my research. So I got to ask you a series of questions. Are you ready? Go
for it.
Okay. At any time, did you hear the words cracker or honky?
No, it was more just white boy. Honky maybe. But not cracker.
Did anybody yell the term "kill Whitey"?
No, they did not. This is not 1950s. This is 1990s.
Are you sure? Dude, I don't. Go ahead.
But my point is that I knew what racism was at that point, but I never felt racism at that point. Up until that point, I seen it. I told you I was in middle school, seeing it every day in my face. You know what I mean? But I never felt racism, if that's the right way to word. I never felt hate towards another color before in my life until that point. So my point is, you know, you're taught these things, you know. So at that point, I did not like that color of people anymore because they beat me up.
Don't say it twice.
I'm being real here. We're being real. We're crossing boundaries, so I'm doing it. I mean, it's for real. It was there, and I went to school with some, you know, some crazy kids, and these particular dudes that I'm talking about. I played with these kids when I was little. I'm talking in the sandbox, bruh. From the sand to the high school. We were playing together, hanging out, you know what I mean? And because I was on the other side of the street where I was not supposed to be because that was the rule, I got beat up for it. And
sorry that happened to you, Red.
Dude, it made me who I am, you know what I mean? Because after that,
Pussy.
Carried on, you know, I approached one of the guys that I was more closer to and said, "What the hell's going on, dude? That was fucked up." And you know what his response was? Not that we grew up together and we were tight and we were boys and nothing like that. Hey man, you were on the wrong side of the street.
Were you crying?
No, I wasn't crying. I was coming to him as a friend.
Yeah.
After this dude participated in beating me up, I came to him as a friend and said, "Hey man, what the fuck's going on? I thought we were boys. I thought we were friends." He said, "Hey man, you were on the other side of the street." Like it was a rule that had to happen because we were over there. But, you know, change is inevitable. And when I grow up and I have children and they experience it and I look at it as in an adult perspective, that's not an acceptable behavior in society. You know what I mean? Like, it's not okay. And this is obvious things I'm saying, but it's not okay to not like somebody because of the color of their skin. You need to get to know that person. You need to experience that person. And you need to talk to that person because I've mentioned this before. We don't know what anybody's going through unless we actually talk to them and befriend them and get to know them. Because I carried that hate in me for years. I was dropping N-bombs left and right because it didn't matter, because I hated it. And it hurt. I carried it around every day of my life. I would throw middle fingers up. I was carrying Confederate flags around with me everywhere I went. I was wearing the Confederate flag shirts. You know what I mean? So when I think about it, I was dumb as shit. Dumb as shit, because I impacted a lot of people's lives by acting that way. Grow up and you realize, you know, that's not the right thing to do. It's a mind-altering experience. It's a game changer. When you have children that you brought into this world experience the same thing that you did, and you know what that hate feels like, man, it's an eye-opening thing, dude. And you know, I don't have a hatred bone in my body. I'm an asshole sometimes, but that's just because that's me. But I don't have a racist bone in my body. And it took me going through all that hatred and all that animosity and all that angst towards people of other color to get where I'm at right now. And I love everybody. I'm colorless right now, dude. I don't see color anymore. You know, I see it every day on TV and on the news, and it blows my mind that this country is in the state that it's in right now with racism. Because we've already been through the separate water fountains. We've already been through the separate places in the restaurant. We've already been to the back of the bus and back up front already. But yet, we still carry that same mindset that you're not supposed to be on this side of the street. You're not supposed to drink from that water fountain. You're not supposed to be in this restaurant. It still happens every day, man. And it sickens me. I mean, we don't have separate, you know, water fountains and places in restaurants now. I mean, that's kind of, we've kind of grown out of that, but that same hatred is still there. Absolutely. I've heard somebody say one time a few weeks ago that racism doesn't exist in America anymore. That's bullshit. You know, it's bullshit. It is alive and well. Just turn on the news and just sit there for 10 minutes. You'll see it. It's everywhere, man. But I don't ever, and I know I won't, I don't ever want to go back to that point and that hate that I had ever again. Because it'll tear you down, man. It really will. I mean, I'm not rambling, you know what I mean? But we agreed to cross this line, and I'm crossing it. You know what I mean? I'm either going all the way or I'm not at all. So it doesn't matter who you are to me anymore. You could be purple with green polka dots for all I give a shit. Before I pass judgment, and it's not even my place to pass judgment, maybe that's a wrong choice of words. Before I ever say anything about you or to you, I'm gonna get to know you first. You know, and racism happens between the same color as well. There's, you know, white people that hate white people, and to me, that's still racism. Because you're hating on somebody because of the color of the skin. Doesn't matter that you're the same color, but you're still hating on that person because of the color of their skin. So, you know, you can't get away from it. I mean, here, you know, the last few years in the news, people were taking down and vandalizing historical monuments because of it. You know, and, you know, I'm proud of where I come from. I'm a Southern country boy that was raised in the South, and I'm proud of that. I'm still proud of my Confederate flag. I'm still proud of the area that I come from and the history that it has. But that does not mean that I hate anybody. That does not mean that I, you know, if you know, John Doe was walking down the street, I'm still throwing my hand up.
Hate is an action.
Yes, absolutely.
Action. Yeah, not a tangible object.
But dude, if somebody carries around hate in their heart so long, it becomes a part of them. And I'm not speaking to it as a material thing. I'm saying it kills you. It you carry it around and you show it to everybody, whether you want to or not. hate is an action, but you portray yourself as a hatred individual just by the way you act. You know, I think, you know, my favorite quote from a speech ever, or from any, you know, political speech or any kind of thing like that, was Martin Luther King. You know, the I Have a Dream speech. The first couple lines of that, dude, are huge. When he says that he dreams that kids will live, you know, in a nation where they're not judged by what color they are, and I'm paraphrasing, of course, but by the content of their character. And that goes back to getting to know that person and realizing who they are before you pass judgment on them. You know, and
but you got to go a little deeper. I think, you know, it's dude, we're human beings.
Mm-hmm.
Racism, hate, just that energy, that negative energy. You know, that shit has been around for so long. That's who we are. There's always going to be racism in America, or in the world. There's always going to be hate in the world. That's who we are.
Absolutely.
As human beings, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's why we have, you know, our thumb. That way we can, you know, hold stuff to kill things with. You know what I'm saying? That's what sets us apart, is that we have the ability to, you know, kill things.
I use my thumb to pick my nose sometimes.
Really? Your thumb?
Mm-hmm.
No way, dude.
Yeah, man.
See, wait. See, that is just more. Listen, we need to go through each episode. We need to start documenting all the weird shit you say. Dude, I use my pinky finger, bro, and you're talking about your thumb. How do you get? What could you possibly grab with your thumb?
Whatever's in there, man.
No, if I stuck my thumb in there, it would only stretch my nostrils out.
Have you seen my face lately? I have a huge nose, Paycheck.
Damn, your thumb?
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm not like bell pepper nose or nothing, but I mean, I've got a pretty big schnauzer, and sometimes I use my thumb. I mean,
disgusting.
Yeah, it is, but I'm just saying. You were talking about thumbs, so I figured I'd throw that in there real quick.
Well, it's the only way that this is going to change is that if people, I'm talking about the human race, if they start concentrating on the real things, you know, the real, you know, and not all the craziness, you know, just it's all about energy and positivity and love and compassion and friendship and, you know, all the great things, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Until we start concentrating on those things. And, you know, I speak from experience. I am, and Red can attest to it, I am on cloud 9. My life is perfect. I have a great job making good money. Well, let's reverse that. I have a good job making great money. I have a family. Ain't nobody cheating on me. I got food in the house. You know what I mean? Like, I'm happy. This is the happiest I've ever been. So if everybody concentrates on that, the happiness, you know what I mean? The love, just the good stuff.
Yeah.
But, you know, but the problem is, like you said, is that let's take the projects. Let's use that for an example. You know, and this little thing I'm fixing to give y'all, this is a conversation I've had with, you know, a lot of my close friends. You know, but it's if you think about how the projects work, and maybe a trailer park, you know, if I don't know, but if you think so, here's this dude. He could be white or black, depending on where he lives. He might live out in the woods, or he might live in projects. So he grows up watching his dad, his uncles, and a few of his older cousins. They're out there, you know, smoking cigarettes, early when they wasn't supposed to, you know, when they was still little kids or whatever, and then, you know, they see, you know, they see all this. Let's see, hold on. I'm sorry, I got distracted there for a second.
You seem to be doing that a lot lately. Are you doing something else? You want me to call you back?
Are you trying to get me back?
Yeah, I mean, hey.
No, it's I've had a good day today. I'm on cloud nine. I had some pretty exciting things happen today.
Yeah.
But my point is that if everybody concentrated on love, and, you know, we're all people, you know what I mean, we're all after the same thing, you know, and just trying to live and just trying to be happy, and, you know, life would be so much easier. People got it wrong. You know, they're not living life the way they're supposed to live it. Ain't nobody supposed to have millions of dollars. You weren't intended to be put on this earth for millions of dollars. And if you have millions of dollars, then you need to be donating shit and creating foundations, and, you know what I mean? I don't know, man. I can go on and on about this damn stuff. It aggravates the shit out of me. If you think about it logically, racism, hate, you know, it's just dumb.
Well,
I can't put it any more simpler than that, dude. When I stopped worrying about everybody else and just loved them, and I started trying to remove all the hate and the hurt, you know, out of my life. That's what I mean by I'm on cloud nine, man. My life is amazing. You know, I don't have hate in my heart. I don't harbor any ill will towards nobody. Life's just so much better that way. So if everybody took a chance and tried to grow, what's that? Growth in all things.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Roughneck Beer Company. That's one of their mottos. Look it up. But it's a good motto. Growth in all things. So if people can concentrate on the growing part instead of how hard you are, and how cool you are, or how much money you got, that's how we gonna change the world right there. I'm already doing it. I'm just one person. So if y'all listening, y'all leave the dumb shit alone. Dude, listen, it's this simple, and it's so weird because your parents used to tell you this all the time when you was a kid. Just do the right thing, and everything will be fine. And that's a motherfucking fact.
Yeah.
If you
I
do
think
right,
the whole world needs to have just one big smoke sesh.
well, now I mean,
Hug it out, and call it a day.
Some have your analysis tests. You know what I mean?
I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about, you know, just love as a whole. I think peace and love. I'm not a hippie by no stretch of the imagination, but peace and love and unity and togetherness and all that kind of stuff, man. That shit's real. You know what I mean? The hippies were on to something in the '60s for sure.
Yeah, but here's the thing: we can't get to that. We can't get there until people start acknowledging that racism is a thing, and it is.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And it's a big fucking problem.
Yeah.
Once everybody gets on board with that, then, you know, we'll start trying to mend some fences, and, you know, trying to get to the important part.
Mm-hmm.
See, racism sucks. I've experienced it firsthand. You know what I mean? So I get it. Not to the extreme that others have gotten it, of course, but I get it. You know, and it's hurtful, and it stings, and it stays with you.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think back to some of the experiences I had now that we're actually talking about it. And you're right, dude. I mean, it's obvious that it's dumb. It's stupid. It's just dumb.
Is it dumb and stupid?
It's dumb and stupid. I mean, that's a real childish way. That's a real childish way to put it. But I mean, it is. Why put your mind and your soul through all that when love and positivity and, you know, togetherness and unity are so much easier.
Because people don't experience that shit when they're a little kid. There's kids walking around here. They weren't hugged.
Right. Absolutely.
They weren't told that, you're a good person. You got positive things coming to you if you work hard and you do the right thing. So, some cats out there, they're not getting that speech.
Yep.
So they're going off of watching their uncles and their dad and their cousins and their brothers. They're all out there doing the dirt. So, of course, victim of circumstance and environment, and geographical location, they're stuck doing the same damn thing. And it's like the domino effect. One hits it, hits the other one, hits the other one, hits the other one, and they all go down.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, Paycheck, what have we learned here today, my friend?
Don't be a racist asshole. Just love people.
Yep.
Love everybody. Somebody that you don't love, they probably wasn't loved when they was a kid, and that's why you don't love them. Because they feel like they don't deserve to be loved. So, and you see that, so you don't love them. And it works. It works both ways. You not only do you not have to be a dick, but you got to love everybody. Dude, I love people so much that I get hurt. It fucks me up in the long run. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you give and you give and you give, and okay, now it's affecting me and me and my family. You know what I mean?
Oh,
or I gave and it turned around and backfired and bit me in the ass. I trust way too many people. I think everybody's telling me the truth. You know what I mean? I'm not. Luckily, I got some street smarts about me, because if I didn't spend that time out there on them streets, I'd be one naive motherfucker.
Yeah. So everybody listening, do us a favor on behalf of yourself and the world. Somebody that you've never had any kind of contact with, that you don't talk to on a daily basis, talk to them, shake their hand, hug their neck, love them. That's what this world needs.
White people, run up in them projects, get up in there and start shaking some hands.
Shake hands like he was running for governor.
Yeah, I'm kidding. Don't do that. Don't run up in no hood. Don't run up in no project.
You gonna get somebody killed, man.
Just run in there yelling, "Hi guys," and everything will be fine.
Oh yeah.
All right, so that's dude, I was thinking about this earlier. It's kind of I don't know why, but it's like it's giving me an awkward feeling that this is our 13th episode, right?
Yeah.
And we're talking about racism.
Yeah. You're not superstitious, are you?
No, but dude, that's creepy.
Come on, man.
Yeah, I think it's right on point. I think that's a sign right there, man.
Well, see, I'm not, I guess you could call me superstitious. I guess I'm not, I'm not superstitious, but.
Whoa. You're not what?
I'm not, I knew it was coming. I'm not superstitious.
So you are superstitious?
Yes.
Why wouldn't you just say, I'm superstitious?
I'm superstitious to a point, okay? In the fact that 13 is like a lucky number of mine, I guess. So
really? You're such a rebel.
And so much so that I have the number 13 tattooed on the top of my left knuckle. So
I didn't know that, dude. We cannot be friends anymore.
Yeah, I have the number 13 tattooed on the top of my left thumb. But dude, come on, don't jinx it. This is a landmark episode. This is an episode that defines who we are as people and inhabitants of the planet Earth.
Racism doesn't define me.
I'm not saying racism. I mean our love and our passion for humankind. What we're talking about right now. What this whole entire episode has been, if you've been paying attention.
You love me?
I love you, brother. To everybody.
Well, don't you see? You just ruined it when you added everybody in there. Now I ain't shit. Fuck you too.
You know you always gonna be my one in a million, Paycheck.
All right, well, tell them where they can find us and they can hear us at.
Oh yeah, Facebook, Conversations with Paycheck and Red. Twitter at Paycheck and Red. Instagram, Paycheck and Red Podcast. We're on Apple Podcast, We're on Anchor Podcast. We're on Podbean, Stitcher, RadioPublic, Overcast, Podcast, or Pocket Cast, and Tunein. And we've got a website, paycheckandred.wix.com or something like that, I think.
Something like that.
Yeah, dude, I'm in the process of fixing all that. I don't like it's too long. It's getting on my nerves. But anyway, we also have a YouTube channel. And the YouTube channel is also a place to listen to our podcast. We are converting these podcasts to YouTube videos and the audio and all that kind of stuff. So you can, if you don't have any of these podcast listening apps, you can go to YouTube and look up Conversations with Paycheck and Red and listen to our episodes on there as well. And we only have like 1 through 3 up there right now, but I'm working on getting the rest of them up. So check us out. We're all over the social media.
And please go on there and hit that like button, share button, hit that bell for the notifications.
Subscribe and all that good shit.
Get us hot. Get us moving.
Yeah, and I think we talked earlier today. I think that we might make a short little run of Conversations with Paycheck and Red t-shirts, and that's just because I know a guy that makes t-shirts, and I just want to see what our graphic looks like on a t-shirt. So we're going to make a very limited amount. They might be for sale. We might have some giveaways. Not real sure yet, but we're trying to engage the masses and get them listening to us because everybody's opinion matters.
Dude, you just gave away there was supposed to be a secret.
What secret?
Yeah, no shit. What secret?
Yeah, right. What secret? I didn't know it was going to be a secret. What are you talking about? If it was going to be a secret, you should have told me it was a secret.
Well, I mean, it was supposed to be free shit that might be available. See?
Well, we got to tell them about it so they can get amped up about it.
Yeah, but we should have had something like, if you like and share and comment on this or that, then this could happen.
That's spam, dude. I hate that shit.
Huh?
I hate that shit. I hate those like I hate click here for whatever. I hate clickbait, man. That's all that is. It gets on my nerves. No, I'm telling you right now that Conversations with Paycheck and Red will be making a limited run of Conversations with Paycheck and Red t-shirts with our logo on it. And we're going to give a couple away. A couple of them might be for sale. We don't know yet. We're just going to make a few of them. We'll see what happens. That's no secret. I want people to get amped up about it.
Oh, well, since you're making all the damn decisions.
I ain't making no damn decisions. Nobody ever told Red that was a secret.
Well, I hope you're bankrolling now.
Yeah, man.
All right, first round of shirts on red, everybody.
Yeah, but we're just pissing in the wind. I mean, we're gonna see what happens. I mean, we could just sit on all of them. Nobody might not want one. You know what I mean? I just want to see what our graphic. I just want to see what our logo looks like on a t-shirt. So I'm gonna get a little short limited run made and see what happens.
Yeah, but see, that's we're partners in this. See, I was leaning more towards oven mitts. So what makes your t-shirts override
oven
my
mitts?
My oven mitt? Yeah,
that's a strange choice of garment for a Conversation and Paycheck podcast.
Dude, what do you think?
Mitts?
Yeah, what do you think some people are doing while they're listening to this podcast? They're in there cooking.
I don't know, driving, cleaning the house, cooking.
Yeah, cooking. What do you wear?
Oven mitt?
Dude, that would be so cute.
Why don't we just make little white and red checkered aprons to go with it? With Conversations and Paycheck and Red on it.
There's way too many competitors in the apron department, but
oh really?
I'm pretty sure we can get in there on the oven mitts.
Yeah. Okay, so be looking for it, y'all.
Yeah.
Conversations with Paycheck and Red. Oven mitts. That's awesome. Oven mitts.
Dude, how different would that make us? Dude,
so different.
Dude, we're setting the bar high as a motherfucker right now.
Right? Who else do you know that's got their own customized oven mitts?
right?
Nobody.
And everybody cooks.
Right? That's awesome.
Hey, name one thing that everybody has in their house.
A stove?
Dude, you should have said oven. Fuck, man. Oven. Oven mitts, motherfucker. We're not talking about stove.
Oh my God.
We're not talking about stove mitts.
Stove mitts, yeah.
You just fucked up my whole vibe, bro.
All right, so start again real quick.
Nah, dude, stove mitts?
No, I'm going to do it right this time. Start again. Do it again.
Um,
Oh, dude, you made this super awkward. You done fucked it up. Anyway, conversation with Paycheck and Red oven mitts.
yeah.
Yeah.
Setting the bar, one oven mitt at a time.
one oven mitt at a time. We're changing the world one oven mitt at a time, y'all.
That's our new slogan.
Hell yeah. So yeah, social media, t-shirts, customized oven mitts. Check it out.
Like and share. Like, share, you know. Listen, y'all know how this algorithm and how all this social media works. You know, we're not relevant until y'all motherfuckers start getting involved. So just do us a favor, you know, on sheer, I don't give a shit anymore. You know, just like the motherfucker. Just share it one time. Just, you know, anything.
We like talking. We like talking about shit. We ain't going nowhere. I don't plan on quitting doing this anytime soon. So,
well, this is something that we do on a daily basis anyway. So we really just record one of the many conversations that I have with this crazy motherfucker on a daily basis. And he makes me laugh. You know what I mean? He's a funny motherfucker. So we figure we share it with y'all. So if we're going to share our intimate moments. Oh, that reminds me, dude. I want to do that one sometime on this podcast. Intimate conversations with Paycheck and Red.
And talk about what that we don't already talk about.
Intimate moments.
Like what?
I don't know, dude. I mean, I just shot from the hip right there. I mean, I wasn't even aiming at nothing, motherfucker.
we just got pretty intimate right there for a few minutes. So
yeah, if this was a video, there would have been a little title in the corner that would have said that as we went through that.
But what is that segment going to be that's different than what we already do?
It's going to be
what
called.
I'm trying to say.
It's going to be called something different.
I'm not renaming the podcast. Everybody knows it as Conversations with Paycheck and Red.
Yeah. We'll do like a weekly thing. Are you gonna?
We talking about like a moment that I shit myself at work one time, or intimate as in an experience I had with my significant other kind of experience?
No, it'll be.
I ain't sharing that shit. That's for me in my bedroom. You ain't getting to hear none of that.
It'll be like not a podcast. It'll be how we get down on social media. You throw a little video up, and you'll title it.
Yeah. Intimate moments with Intimate moments with Paycheck and Red.
Yeah. Starring.
Wow.
And it'll be dude. I'm tired. It'll be your video, so it'll be like this with Red. Intimate moments with Red.
Oh.
You see what I'm saying? And you tell you a little intimate story about the first time you finger banged, some broad or something like that, or the first time you ever got your heart broken, or whatever, man. I don't give a shit. It's an intimate moment.
Right.
Look, it could be an intimate moment you had with one of your kids, when they picked and flicked their first booger or something like that. So it could be something, whatever.
Right.
Never mind. It doesn't sound like you're into it, man. So fuck off then.
I mean, we already talk about that kind of shit, though. Why call it something else when we already do it?
Because we're creating content. That's a special little segment.
Okay. All right.
In which we're gonna get intimate with. See what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. See what I gotta deal with. You see what I gotta deal with, folks?
You just need to stop having your safety meetings alone and share it with somebody so you don't get. You got confused. You got confused a little bit today.
That's because I'm tired. Dude, I get up at 1 o'clock in the morning. What time do you get up?
6.
Yeah, see? So that means that I've got to be in bed. If I'm getting up at 1 o'clock in the morning to get any kind of decent sleep, I got to be in bed by 8 o'clock.
But it's past your bedtime, brother.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's, you know.
So what you're saying is...
I'm dropping loads all over America.
So what you're saying is... Look us up on social media, folks.
That's it.
Holler at us again.
Find us, check us out.
Yes, sir.
See ya.
Later.